I'm cool. R.I.P. So I will let Gerald start us off with this conversation. Armand, unfortunately, you didn't see Batman vs Superman, which is like the latest comic book film, and then we'll all kind of follow Gerald's lead on this one.
Okay.
Well, it's a long history, and I don't want to go too deep into history. But if you really think about where the comic book film started, you have to go to Superman the movie.
The one with
Christopher Reeve, directed by Richard Donner.
Richard Pryor was in one of the films.
He was in one of the bad ones. He was he was in 3.
It was like him and Superman.
Right. How does this happen? Right.
Why are you
here? Superman the movie actually holds up better than you would think. I watched it maybe a month ago. It holds up, but it's the bright, sunny version of Superman that everybody thinks that they know, and it's not. And again, it is even for, I think it was 78 or 79 that it came out. Wow. Still holds up well, even in some of the special effects. The green screen stuff actually still holds up pretty. It still holds up pretty well. Nice little story. Jump cut to the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman movie, which does not hold up as well. And outside of the excitement of being a 14-year-old kid cutting school to go to go see Batman, it was that was the experience, and I think most of the stuff today kind of flows from that, because most people's image of Batman came from, at that time, the Adam West stuff. Yeah. Now you're reading comic books like I am. Wow. I'm like, oh, great, this is the Frank Miller Batman. And Frank Miller is this tremendous writer who wrote Dark Knight Returns, which is the seminal Batman opus. Most people today refer back to the Miller Batman. He's bringing out comics.
I want that, man.
And then you go into the 90s and get the malaise, these terrible Batman movies.
No. 89 Batman, I like that Batman.
Yes, that's the Michael
Keaton.
That's the Michael Keaton Batman.
And Prince did the soundtrack.
The Prince connection.
Yeah.
But you get the 2 terrible Joel Schumacher movies. You get the
George Clooney Batman was horrible.
Right. You get the Shadow, and you get I can't even think of it. The Phantom, and guys trying to or studios trying to capitalize on Batman's the Burton Batman popularity, and you get a couple of lesser known things. You get some bad Punisher movies, and then we get to the late 90s and the early 2000s, where we get the Spider-Man movie, where we get the X-Men movie, and barring your knowledge on comics, these are superior films. Now, a geek will go in and say, that never happened, and get all twisted up in continuity. But what counts, ultimately, is how good the filmmaking is, how good the story is. If you keep the essence of the character and you keep their psychology, just tell the story from that point on. And now it's really the war that Marvel's winning. If it's a war, it's actually got to be a fight. Right. Marvel just putting out, again, taste notwithstanding, Marvel, their planning, their execution, their overall look, feel is just far superior to the DC films. And that's not a Marvel DC thing. That's a film thing. That's a creative thing. The greatest thing that happened to Marvel was getting bought out by DC by Disney.
Really?
Disney bought all of the Marvel properties, and for whatever people say about Disney, they are a creative entity. Oh,
Yeah.
That's true.
you got. Wait a minute. You got.
They did a good job
Right.
with what was it? Disney took over the last. What was it? They did a good job. The last.
Every Marvel film is a DC film. I mean, every Marvel
Disney.
film is a Disney film.
Disney.
Really?
What-
Marvel proper.
Well, the
Marvel
last.
proper.
My bad. Like Deadpool.
Right.
Deadpool.
No.
Deadpool
Now,
not
Deadpool's not a Marvel proper film. It's not a Marvel studio film.
So where did that come from?
What's that?
Deadpool.
Deadpool's a Marvel property, but they have the DC Marvel stuff is.
What's DC? Marvel?
I'm sorry, I keep saying DC
Say-
because I'm full.
Yeah. He got some Gentleman Jack.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Birthday weekend stuff.
The Disney
Internets.
the Disney Marvel stuff is that's your Avengers. That's your Hulk, the first movie. That's your Cap, your Iron Man,
Okay.
Ant-Man, all of those.
All right. So before you continue, I just want to. I'll say my little piece, and I feel like the rise of comic book films to where they are now is like in a prime. I feel like we're in a prime in our culture.
Yeah.
Because it is so because these characters date back to the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s.
Superman and Batman are the very early 40s.
Yeah.
41 and 43, I think.
That long. And we're talking about fathers and sons, fathers and sons, fathers and daughters, like generations upon generations that were able to embrace it on a comic book level. Mm-hmm. But like this is the first time ever that like I can go see like Deadpool and as a major flick, and the next generation below me can enjoy it the same way. And it's almost like my childhood is being, revitalized
put on film.
On major film,
yeah.
like with X-Men. And, I grew up with X-Men. You know what I mean? Grew up on Batman and grew up on Spider-Man. And, I'm not really I never really liked Superman like that. You know what I mean? That's not
but say it.
But Man of Steel,
awesome. Yes,
awesome.
Nobody can beat Superman, yo. That's my problem with Batman with Superman. It's like Batman is a rich kid who can make weapons and suits and stuff, but you got the dude who cannot be killed. You can't stab him with the knife. You can't shoot him with the bullet. You can't drop a building on him. You can't run him over with the tank. You can't do anything.
Watch the movie, yo. You need to watch the movie.
I don't care, yo. I don't care.
No, but
unless you got some kryptonite standing right in front of Superman's face,
but that's almost what he did.
He stole.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's the only way you can be Superman.
But you're leading into a point that I try to get across to people, and it's like, to me it's way more important when you start talking about punches and powers and costumes and all that stuff. You lose what these characters and what these stories are about. Yeah. This is myth, and this is where
that's what it is. Yeah.
Brandon's been trapped in a whole bunch of conversations with me. Like, no, don't go. I'm trying to. Come on, man. I'm trying to give you this knowledge, baby. Come on. But it's myth, and myth is boil it down. It's just story. But if you take it to a mythical Joseph Campbell level. And the Justice League is the perfect example of that. It is Superman Zeus, Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman because she's actually a goddess. Batman is Hades. Green Lantern is Hephaestus.
Wow.
It is right. It's Aquaman's Poseidon. But it's exactly myth. And when you take it from the mythical level, when you take these characters as allegorical retakes of other characters, when you get into the emotion and psychology, that's when the stuff gets great. It's just the costumes and powers are just the gravy on top. Yeah,
and like to me, I'll let you chime in. But X-Men to me,
I'm just listening to y'all. I'm learning a lot. Listening to y'all.
Yeah, yo, man. If for the internets, man, Ashton was supposed to come on and give us some knowledge, but he'll catch us on the next trip. But to me, X-Men was the comic book thing for me. Like I had the trading cards. I was watching the X-Men cartoons every Saturday, and X-Men was so important to my life. And as I look back on it now, and it's almost like Stan Lee and a lot of the other creators and writers, it's almost like I look at like the civil rights movement with Magneto and Professor X.
Yes, absolutely.
With Professor X being Martin Luther King and Magneto being Malcolm X.
Hold on.
Hold on. Hold on. Before you jump in, and that dynamic and relationship is so powerful, bro. Like I was watching. I got it on DVD. I mean, I'm an X-Men fanatic, but like I was watching the Saturday comic book, the Fox joint, and I'm like, I was picking up jewels from this freaking cartoon.
Yeah, man.
Just last week.
Yeah.
Like, damn, like on how to move as a grown ass man in 2016. You know.
No, and that's again like the in when you talk about creativity, particularly writing, and I talked about characters being allegorical retakes of other characters. I'm about to go really nutty on y'all, so you forgive me for a second. But that's how exactly connected we are as people, because Schuster and Siegel didn't necessarily know that they were making an allegorical update of the Jesus character when they made Superman. And I'm not trying to crap on anybody's faith or belief or anything but when people write and when they tell stories, archetypes appear over and over and over and over again. Again, with the X-Men situation, that is Martin Luther King. Absolutely, Professor X is, but Magneto is Marcus Garvey. I don't need you. I don't want you.
Yeah.
My people, let's go. Let's get out of here. You don't accept us. You don't believe in us. We'll make, and you get Asteroid M, which is Africa. Where Magneto eventually took all of the mutants.
Well, I think it began as Malcolm X, because like Malcolm and Martin.
I don't think it began.
We're trying to build a front, and then it became like, you know what? Because Malcolm at the end of the day, Malcolm sided with Martin.
Right.
Like,
long
we
term,
need each other.
Long term.
Right.
And
Marcus Garvey was like, you know what, man?
And again,
I'm building my own game.
Where I was going with that,
I like that, man.
That spiritual connection that we have in storytelling, I don't think Stan Lee necessarily realized what he was doing. He's dropped in the middle of this, and these images and these thoughts and everything that's going on around him just permeate.
I take it back. I think he. All right. Okay. I don't think he knew exactly what. I don't think he was like portraying the civil rights movement.
Right.
But I at the same time, I still think that he was.
No, absolutely no. I don't think. That's the difference. I don't think it was his intention.
Right.
I think
it was more like a feeling.
Right. This is what's happening around me, and it's coming out my creativity.
Yeah. Omar, man, you got anything that any thoughts, man?
But I'm anxious to see that X-Men joint that come out next month.
Yeah.
I'm really an X-Men guy. My little brother put me on to that, because I used to watch the cartoon, but I never really got into the movies till later on. And man, I'm ready for that. I used to always ask my little brother, like, we used to always say, if you could have one of these powers from X-Men, what would it be and why? So I always chose to do Professor X. He controls the mind, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want him. Like, to me, that's the most powerful joint. You control people's mind. You go, all right, you don't gotta do nothing. You got people jumping off buildings. You get criminals jump off a building. They want to be doing something wrong. You know what I mean? So I wanted that, but I thought that always was the most powerful one. Was when you can control somebody's mind. So I'm anxious for that to come out.
Just to let you know, if it's a movie that's not about family, it's not an X-Men movie. It's never, or a story. Never. If it's not about family, it is not an X-Men story. And you get that. We argue, we fight, we disagree, but we're together.
Right.